Thank you, Madam Chair. You have heard me say many times that when we speak about energy, there's a few principles that I think are pretty uniform. Energy needs to be affordable, it needs to be accessible, it needs to be clean, it needs to be diverse, and it needs to be secure. And I think the propane issues that we saw in the Midwest this past winter, in my judgment, is a reminder to us that things can get pretty dire when energy is not abundant, when it's not affordable, and when we just don't have those diverse supplies. I think the witnesses that we have assembled before us today are a great panel. You represent the key figures in this difficult situation. We have the producers, the pipeline, the distributor, the regulator, the consumer, and the policy officials. So I thank each of you for joining us here this afternoon. Look forward to your testimony. You each have part of the puzzle, and hopefully we can assemble a more complete picture today. We've only had a short time that has passed, but I think we do know a few things with certainty. It's worthy of conducting an inventory before we get started. At the most basic level, we know that our propane inventories were low heading into the winter, and as you have mentioned, Madam Chair, it was a pretty tough winter, pretty brutal all around, and that with low supply and high demand, we saw our prices spike. So we're back to basically the simple principles of supply and demand. But as policymakers, we know it's more than just Econ 101 that we need to be recognizing here as we consider options for preventing such issues from occurring again. We need to have a deeper understanding of the factors that were at play, and not just which factors, but more how they interacted to produce the results that they did. We know about the record propane production, the record corn production, the record temperatures, and the record prices. So stepping back, we also know that something else is true, and that's the oil and gas renaissance is highlighting the nation's need for more infrastructure, and infrastructure that is more closely adapted to today's new resource picture. Simply put, infrastructure is just not keeping pace with production. And yet we have to add another layer of analysis on top of that, because in some cases we've got a situation where we have plenty of pipeline or plenty of storage capacity, but it's underutilized for certain reasons. And we need to look at how that factors into the situation. It's entirely possible, indeed it's likely, that a completely satisfactory reckoning will prove to be elusive, perhaps for some time. There may be limitations on data, there may be conflicting accounts, there may be some room for alternative competing hypotheses, as they say in the Intelligence Committee. Not that that provides any solace to the millions of Americans in the Midwest who had to endure a pretty tough winter. Not that uncertainty in the face of changing seasons, and of course that next winter is going to come upon us just as the summer is coming upon us now. That's not particularly reassuring. So hopefully the testimony that we will have today will shed some light on what I think we would agree is an important topic. So thank you, Madam Chairman, and look forward to the contributions of our colleagues here this afternoon.